Hi everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Let's Talk Elvis.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the things that happened from my side of the story. There's been a lot written and a lot said about what happened to me, but never from my side.
It's been a hot second since I said that, and I won't bore you guys with any excuses or details, but I just want to say that I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to make a new video for you guys. So, in recent news, the Graceland Elvis Week schedule of events dropped this week, and I just, upon looking at it, realized that it's very tailored to like one specific type of interest. So I thought I would sit down and make kind of a more comprehensive sort of itinerary of things to do while you're visiting Memphis that might be a little bit more of variety and also a little bit more cost friendly, a little bit more affordable for you. I do also want to say that most of the things that I'm recommending I have myself done before, so I can recommend them with 100% honesty and faith that other people will enjoy them. So without making this video too long, I am going to separate it into three categories. One being tours, so tickets that you need to buy yourself. One being sightseeing, things that you can do for free and places that you can go see that kind of have an Elvis connection. And then also festivals that you can go to, memorabilia and meet Elvis people, those kind of events. And then also events that are EPE events that I'm going to be doing and that I think are going to be worth the money just based off of the descriptions and also things that I've done before that are EPE events. I do just want to say that I get this question all of the time asking me like, what should I do in Memphis? I'm going to Memphis for a couple days. I'm going for a week. I'm going for whatever. And I want to know what there is to do down there. And so this is for those people. Also, this is just the stuff that I have done that I've enjoyed that I think other people will enjoy, but it might not be for everybody and that's okay. Just wanted to give that little disclaimer there before we start. So I'm going to rattle off the little suggestions that I have, and then if they're of interest to you, feel free to message me, or there's tons of information out there online. A simple Google search will help you out if these places sound of interest to you. But starting off with tours, so you'll have to buy a ticket for these, but in my opinion, I think that the tickets are completely worth it and not an outrageous price. I have Sun Studio on here. Sun Studio is legendary, and I think everybody should visit at least once in their life. The tour is amazing. So definitely check that out if you are visiting Memphis sometime soon. I have the Rock and Soul Museum, which a lot of people don't know of this one, but I definitely recommend it. It was one of my favorite tours. I remember I went in 2019. And it basically just talks about like musicians, I wrote a little blurb, but musicians that overcame racial and socioeconomic barriers to create music that they loved, and also a lot of Memphis history in there too. So it talks a lot about Black artists that stemmed from Memphis, and a lot of just like where rock and roll stemmed from as well, which Elvis loved to talk about that, and there was like a big inspiration for Elvis. So if you want to learn about that side of history, that tour is amazing, and I definitely recommend checking out that museum. We got Stax recording. If you know about the Stax album, Elvis at Stax, I think it's an FTD, I'm pretty sure, but you can go visit where they recorded that album, so definitely check that out if you want. This is not directly having to do with Elvis, but something that I believe Elvis would have loved, because I mean, If I Can Dream, that whole song about Martin Luther King Jr., the Civil Rights Museum, one of the most like, oh man, just I still think about it to this day and I'm just speechless. Like, it's just a beautiful kind of heartbreaking all at once tour of Martin Luther King Jr. and that history. You can visit the hotel that he stayed at. There's a museum part as well where you can see artifacts, and they kind of have his room frozen in time to kind of show what it would have looked like the last time he saw it. I just think it's one of like the most beautiful, but also just like wake up call kind of tours that is really important. I think Elvis would say the same, so definitely check that out. We've got the Memphis City Riverboat Cruise. This doesn't have to do anything with Elvis, but if you are interested in like the city of Memphis and just seeing more of the city of Memphis, I did that cruise when I was down there, I think in oh my gosh, I was little. I was like 2012 maybe, so I was like around 12 years old. And I loved it. You get on a boat, you can have dinner. It's along the Mississippi River, so it's really gorgeous. And I think we did a showboat one in 2019. That was a little different because you could see like a theater show was going on, so like a dinner show type of thing, but super cool. And I don't think that the tickets for that are really that crazy either for all that you get. So if you want to see more of Memphis, maybe Memphis by night, but in a safe way, I would definitely recommend checking that out. We've got Memphis Discovery Tours. So these are kind of tours where you can either do bus tours, walking tours. There's like food tours where you can go around and just like eat little bits of like food from different places, which I've done, which is really cool. Southern cooking, really cool. A lot of like history tours, so like visit this place, this cultural place, this like specific like iconic place in Memphis, and it's all led by a tour guide. So I think that that's really cool. A lot of music history as well, obviously. But I did a lot of them in Nashville, and I know Memphis does a lot of them too, which I've done. And I think that they're so worth it. The tickets are really affordable, and I just think it's a fun time if you have a couple hours to spare here and there. This one's like kind of fun. There is a haunted Memphis tour, which I've never done, but I know that there's people out there that I think this would like be perfect for them. I'm thinking of certain people in the community that would enjoy this, but it's what it sounds like. It's a tour guide taking you around to the haunted places of Memphis, and I think that that would be really cool for some of you. Again, you can find these things by Googling them, really super simple, and you can find like tour ticket prices and everything, and I don't think that they're that outrageously expensive. So. And then we got the Memphis Mansions. This is cool. Again, you can Google it to find it like out. There's multiple mansions that kind of have like historic meaning within the city of Memphis. A lot of family mansions, things like that. And you can go and tour them and see the insides. And I have never done it personally, but I remember like I was on a tour once that kind of took us by some of them and we looked at the outsides of them, and they were beautiful. And then I saw some pictures online of the inside. So if that's kind of like architecture, history type thing interests you, then I would definitely recommend checking those out. Okay, moving on, we've got sightseeing. There is so much in Memphis that you could do. Go see things that are related to Elvis. I know I don't have them all listed here. There's no way I could do that, but I listed some of the ones that I've been to and that are my favorites. So we've got Humes High, we've got Audubon Drive, Elvis's first house that he bought for his family. Definitely recommend that. It's a must if you can get to Audubon. The Mid-South Coliseum. I'm hoping by Elvis Week it's still there. I know that they're going to tear it down. I just visited it for the second time in January when I went for birthday, and it's definitely like it's a heartstring, kind of pulls your heartstrings because it's sad to see the state it's in. But if it's still there, go see it before they tear it down because it's such an iconic landmark of Elvis history. We've got Crosstown. I think this is really cool. Not directly related, well, it is directly related to Elvis in a way. It used to be an old Sears that Elvis would go shop at. But since then, it was really run down for a while. They were gonna tear it down for a while. And then they actually rebuilt it to hold like a bunch of stuff. There's art exhibits, there's music, there's like concerts. You can go for concerts. There's theater shows. There's tons of places to eat. There's like popsicles and like different restaurants, and you can go for drinks. There's places to shop. There's like a whole community within this like really huge building. I went for the first time in January and I loved it. I thought it was really cool. I have plans to go visit again because I think you could spend like a whole like night there. I think it'd be so fun. So definitely look that up if that's of interest to you. We've got Beale Street. This is classic. If you know, I mean, if you've seen the movie, Beale Street will be lovely. For me, it wasn't like my favorite thing to do. I'm just not like a huge like busy city person. But I know if you go during the night, it might be a little bit more busy than going during the day. But honestly, it could be the same now. I haven't been for a while. My favorite store though, I remember, was the A. Schwab shop, which is really weird. It was just like a shop. I got my ukulele there. You can buy like musical instruments. There's antiques. There's like candy and like different like Memphis like tourism things. You can sit down at like a soda shop bar and like order a milkshake. It's just like very like vintage vibes, and I really liked it when I went, so that could be of interest to you. Immaculate Conception, where Priscilla went to high school and graduated from. There's Overton Park Shell, Elvis's first public appearance. The Peabody, super cool. I love going to the Peabody. Maybe see the Ducks if you have time. And then Sam Phillips Recording Studio. I think that that's like super underground thing that not a lot of people know about. I just went for the first time in January and thought it was really, really cool. You can look inside the doors and kind of see inside. Not a lot of these places you can like go into, which is why I say it's sightseeing. You kind of just like walk by and like take your pictures and things like that. You can't really like go in and tour it. Some of the things you can, obviously, like crosstown and things that I explained like that are like meant for the public, but things like Audubon and Mid-South and like Sam Phillips Recording thing, like those kind of things, you just kind of have to look in and the best you can see what it would have looked like. But I think they're still really cool. I do want to say one more thing on the topic of sightseeing. One of my best friends, Mary Clark, does a tombstone tourist tour where she basically takes you around to 2 different cemeteries in Memphis that are the final resting places of a lot of people related to Elvis, family, friends, things like that. It's really cool, and I did my first one in January for birthday, but she also does them for Elvis Week, and she also wrote her very first book. Really cool, and I really, really recommend. It's called Tombstone Tourist Tour Guidebook, and it looks like this, and then on the inside, it's all of the people that, in the first edition at least, this is all that she could fit into this book, but it's people that have an Elvis connection that are buried in different locations, and some of the people in here she will take you to see on the tour in Memphis. So I definitely recommend it. I've been doing this thing where I will like look at the people who are buried. She has like an index in the back. It's so useful. But if you can see, I've done like little red dots by the ones that I have seen, which I think is really cool. So if you are interested in that, definitely reach out and I can like point you in the right direction how to get in contact with Mary. Or I know that there will definitely be a post coming sometime soon that details the date and the times and how much the ticket will be to do this thing. But I definitely think it's worth it. And Mary knows so much about so much Elvis stuff. I can't believe it. Every time I talk to her, I learn something new. So I definitely recommend it if that's of interest to you. A couple more things. I wanted to shout out the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop Festival. That'll be taking place at the Holiday Inn Express on the Boulevard. John does these festivals January and August, so birthday and Elvis Week, and they're great. You can meet a lot of people, a lot of Elvis guests, memorabilia and souvenirs you can buy, things like that, and as well as the Fred Hoobery Festival. I'm not sure if this has like a name, a specific name, but I went to my first one during birthday. It's at the Travel Lodge on Brooks Road in Memphis, and it was so cool. I got to meet Keith Alverson. He was there. I heard that Jimmy Velvet's gonna be there this year, this coming Elvis Week, and Fred had a ton of really cool memorabilia. So definitely check that out if that's your bag. I think you'd really enjoy that. And just keep an eye out if these things are of interest to you. I know that there'll be posts circulating, definitely closer to the dates of, you know, specific details on when to go and who's gonna be there and all this other stuff. But just so it's on your radar, those things I definitely recommend doing. And then before I close out this episode, I wanted to shout out a couple events that I think that I'm going to be attending that have to do with EPE. So EPE related events. I know they're doing a lot of ETA stuff, which if that's your thing, you have a lot to choose from this year. For me, I think the Conversations on Elvis panel is of interest to me because specifically for the girl who was in the 6-Day special that danced to Little Egypt is gonna be there, and I'm like, that's so cool. The 6-Day special is my favorite concert for a lot of different reasons, but I would love to hear somebody talk who was involved in that production. I want to go to Lisa's memorial service. Tickets for that are, I think, like $25, but I want to say that 100% of the proceeds go toward the EP Charitable Foundation, which I believe she started with Priscilla or on her own. I'm not really sure, but I think that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. I'm so glad that they're celebrating her life in some way. On the same day as the vigil, I think Lisa's thing is like early evening, late afternoon time, and then you go to the vigil at night. I think that's a beautiful way to honor her and definitely something she would have loved. So I'm really excited to go to that and celebrate her. And then I made a video a little while back talking about the Elvis Next Generation show, which I'm super excited. I saw was happening again for the second time, the second annual, I guess, Next Generation show, but I'm really excited for that event. That was my favorite thing that I did last year at Elvis Week, and I cannot wait to go to another one. So if this is of interest to you as well, all of these things they're listed on the Graceland website, and I think tickets go on sale April 5th. So if those events sound fun to you, be sure to message me if you have any questions. Also in the comments, leave things that you like to do in Memphis. I had some people do that the other day when I posted my stories talking about the schedule and things that they found interesting and fun when they were in Memphis. So make sure to leave suggestions for people who are going. I'm really excited. 46th anniversary this year. It cannot come fast enough. I'm really, really pumped, and I can't wait to see you all there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope this video was helpful to you. Again, feel free to reach out with any questions, and I will talk to you guys in my next episode. Bye.